George Kilpatrick, inspiration for the nation, celebrating people that we feel good about. It's time to get your money right. And how we do that is with our favorite financial expert, Vicki Brackens, president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, member SIPC, is in the house once again. Great supporter of Inspiration for the Nation. Thank you, Vicki, for joining us. And today, Vicki, guess what? We're going to get our paper straight.
Okay, George.
We're going to get organized, Vicki. Let's get organized. And so let's talk about that.
Well, George, just to kind of recap, last week we read a report concerning women, and I said women needed to become more courageous in the things that they were doing around their finances because they represent a majority of the decisions that are made in households concerning finances and inheritances and what gets passed on to the next generation. In fact, if you remember, it said about 98% of those decisions are made by women. So in order to make the impact that we want, we need to get organized. Why is that so important? I just want you to think about this one number. There will be, in the next generation, about $3.2 trillion that will transfer from one generation to the next in this country. And women are going to be in control of a lot of those decisions as far as that transfer of wealth. So I know you're going to get tired of hearing this, but I'm going to say it one more time.
Go ahead.
To move up the financial well-being pyramid, and
Yes.
everybody now has a picture of their pyramid. I'm sure they probably have it on their desk
Well,
right
we're
in
gonna
front
have
of
to
them
do-
right now.
We'll have to do it again.
But here we go. If we want to go up those rungs, which are from poor, which is without resources and without options, to broke, to stable, to prosperous, to rich, and then finally to wealthy, which is definitely using our resources to live the life that we want, we need to stay organized. So let's talk about getting organized today.
All right.
Why do we want to get organized? First of all, what was our number one goal that we discussed before? Do you remember that, George?
Let's see. I should, right?
Yes,
Our
you
number
should.
one goal was our number one goal, Vicki.
Okay. The number one goal was to increase your net worth
Yes.
every year.
Well, I was going to say that.
All right, then. So if we want to accomplish our number one goal, then we need to know where we are right now.
Right.
In order to know where we are right now, it requires organization. Now, a lot of people may say, well, Vicki, getting organized is really not that simple. And they're right.
Right.
Because we're running day to day. We have six or seven things that we're trying to accomplish inside of an hour. And we have some habits that we need to break around organization.
Oh, Lord. All right. But before we continue, Vicki, I got to remind people.
What's that?
This is the jargon bell. So whenever Vicki says something that sounds like jargon, I'm going to ring the bell. So
All
I just
right.
want to make sure that people got that.
I have been warned.
Okay.
So I'm ready to go forward into the night, as they would say. So here.
There you go.
First of all, let's look at some of the steps. First step, I think everybody has probably heard this, but I'm going to say it again.
Say it
You
again.
must create a budget. But beyond the budget, in fact, sometimes I think it's in reverse. First thing we need to do is to actually track our expenses
Before creating the budget?
before creating the budget, because creating the budget is the roadmap as to what we're going to do in the future. But if we don't know what we're doing right now, where are you spending your money, then it's very difficult to create an accurate budget that you can live with and is impactful for what you're doing. So
Got
let's
it.
track your expenses. I am old school. One of the best ways to track your expenses, do they still have 5 and dime stores?
They got dollar stores now.
Go to the dollar store. Go to the dollar store and get you one of those 3x5 little flip spiral notebooks.
Yes.
That'll slide into a breast pocket.
Yes.
And everything you do, write it down.
Oh, okay. The little ones.
The tiny ones.
The-
So
yes.
we don't want everybody to know what you're doing.
Right,
Okay, so
right.
get one of those small pocket
Spiral
spirals,
notebooks. Yes, that
will
flip.
fit right into the breast pocket or drop into your pocketbook
Uh-huh.
very, very discreetly. And everything you do, write it down.
Everything.
Do that for 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. And when I
Before
say
creating the budget?
before creating the budget,
Wow.
I need to know, you need to know, where am I spending
Every
my money?
penny.
Every penny.
Yeah.
From there, then we can work backwards to really look at the categories of where you're spending.
Mm-hmm.
what you're spending money on, what things you're doing unconsciously, because once you start to write it down, there's a bell that starts to go off in your head. Because when we do things like stick the card into the debit machine,
Right.
we don't track it mentally. They've shown from research that the more electronics you use for spending money, the less attached you are to it.
They got apps for that now.
The actual tactical method of writing it down changes the behavior. The next thing, have one place for all of your bills. Create a checklist for the bills that you are expecting to pay and review it every monthly. You need to have, in some cases, depending on how unorganized you are, it would be better for you to actually have 2 bank accounts. One for paying bills, one for discretionary expenses.
Yeah.
When we
That's a good idea for people to have, like the vacation fund.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like right, savings. Well, you didn't even talk about savings yet.
We haven't gotten there yet. Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, as far as the steps.
Right,
so we've
right.
got track the expenses, create the budget, then have one place for the bills, have 2 bank accounts, create a list of the bills you're expecting every month, and then here's the big one. Gather all your stuff. All the piled up mail.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. All the stuff you glanced at but you never really read a month ago.
Wow. All up in my
Sort it.
business. Go ahead.
Okay? Sort it.
Mm-hmm.
Throw out the duplicates, because a lot of times we get duplicate stuff.
Right.
Shred the rest. Make sure you shred it, because we don't want a lot of personal information out there. I don't know about you, but I get overwhelmed sometimes with the volume of stuff that I get. But I really feel free and empowered when I put it in the machine and it goes, okay?
Right.
That's going to lighten you up, so that once you sort it into categories, work, personal, debts, assets, account statements, things of that nature, now you can go through an exercise that is really very important. And I'm going to stop and take a breath here, because get a pencil and a paper and some paper.
Go ahead.
Because here are the things that I want you to do. There are 9 key questions related to organization and understanding your finances that you must ask about every asset that you have.
Okay.
First question, what is it? Second one, who has control over it? Third one, where is it? Fourth one, why do I have it? Fifth one, what is it supposed to do? Sixth one, when can we get to it? Number 7, who really owns it? Number 8, what happens to it if something happens to me? And number 9, what's the plan for it? So I'm going to go back for a second and review, because this is a lot of information. So
you rolling, sister. You rolling.
We may have to stop and come back to some of this in a future week, but let's at least deal with 1 or 2 or 3 of these.
Sure,
okay?
sure.
The first one is, what is it? When I talk about what is it, and we talk about the jargon
We're talking
bells,
about
okay?
Right, the asset you saying.
The
what
asset,
is it?
okay, the asset that you own, okay? When we say what is it, what is this asset? There's a lot of terminology out there and a lot of jargon and quite often we are very much confused by the jargon and really don't understand what this asset is. So take a moment once you've sorted everything and look at whatever that statement is and say, what is this? Is it a bank account? Is it a savings account? Is it a checking account? Is it a money market? Who has control over it is basically, is it mine? Is it ours if there's a couple involved? Does it belong to someone else in the family? But who controls the decisions
around this asset?
This particular asset?
Yes.
And then finally, where is it? What I mean by where is it? Not that it's in my desk drawer or something of that nature, but where is it held? What institution is the custodian? Who has control? Because you have a piece of paper. Who has the real money that's behind that particular asset? Is it an advisor or a lawyer or a CPA firm? Where is it? Who controls it? Where is it held? George, I'm getting tired.
Okay.
I think we may have to stop here. But before we do, a couple of things I want to remind everyone about.
Sure.
First of all, there are all kinds of apps around organization.
Okay.
So you can
You got a recommendation right now?
I have one.
Okay.
And that's what I call the personal document locator. And you know where you can get it? www.brackensfsn.com. Or you can go to www.info@brackensfsn.com. If you send me an email, I will send you the personal document locator.
Okay.
Which you can fill out online and use for the future. The other thing is, you remember last week, what did we do we asked for a request. What was that?
Your request was you want a theme song.
I need a theme song. So we asked individuals to send in recommendations, and we got some.
Right.
But I think we need to energize everybody.
That's right.
So here's how we're going to energize them. We're going to run this contest or this request for the next 4 weeks. At the end of that 4 weeks, we'll have a vote. The audience will get to vote on the top 5 entries.
Okay.
Whichever theme is chosen, that winning entry, I will take to lunch.
Oh.
And that person or persons.
Lunch of their choice.
Lunch of their choice within reason.
Okay.
Lunch of their choice.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I will
yes.
take them to lunch. And they will have 1 hour without fee to talk to me about their personal finances.
All right. So Vicki, how do we get? So they need to send it to me, send it to you, however they want to do it.
Send it to you.
To me.
Okay, you're
Thank
going to be
you.
the gatekeeper.
George at
Okay.
GeorgeKilpatrick.com. Hit me up on Facebook. Message me. However you want to do it. Tweet me. However you want to do it. Inspiration by GK. Also on Instagram, Inspiration by GK. That's how we're going to do it.
That's exactly
Vicki
how.
Brackens, president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corp., member SIPC, wants a theme song recommendation.
Well, George, I think I can say it definitely now. The plate is full.
The plate is full. Inspiration for the nation.